with some problems we had with the car. But yeah, I'm glad we pulled it through, and I'm glad for the event sponsor SA Live and SA Live, the car sponsor, plus Hencom panel beaters as well. We're really delighted for them.
The Pajero Sugarbelt 400 again drew a huge entry with special vehicle, production vehicle, motorcycle and quad racer competitors all converging on Eston. Ahead of competitors lay more than 400 kilometres of tough racing, and with car and motorcycle categories enjoying unprecedented support from manufacturers and importers, the competition in the South African Off-Road Championship is cutthroat. We're ready to go off-roading in the Pajero. Competitors had to complete each loop twice. Going into the Sugarbelt 400, it was no surprise to see Alfie Cox on the Natro Freight Castrol KTM once again leading a South African championship. Almost unbeatable in South Africa in recent seasons, the red-haired KwaZulu-Natalian was again heavily favoured to add another win to his name. And after 2 wins in 3 outings in the 250 class, Clayton Ensslin was also among the pre-race favourites.
The conditions are actually very good. It's very loamy, the dust. No dust for tomorrow, so I think it makes the racing fair. It will be tight, I think, again. But a strategy for tomorrow, I think, will probably be to hang with the guys, local guys, because they're going to know where they're going and they know how to ride the sugarcane.
Defeats for Alfie Cox on home soil have been rare, but 2 riders who've beaten an Italian in recent times are Graham McLaughlin and Elmer Simons. Both of them were looking for repeat performances in Cox's backyard.
The guy I'm chasing is Alfie Cox. I think it's only me and Elmer Simmons that have beaten him in the last 3 years. I beat him twice at the desert race. Elmer beat him at the Roof of Africa. I think we must put a stop to that. I think it'll be good for the sport. And nowhere better than to do it in his backyard.
The track was excellent, not too wet. It's been raining a lot over here, but it was perfect, really, really nice. I think everyone enjoyed it. So looks like tomorrow's going to be a good day. Just hopefully I got a good starting position. If not, just going to take the guys one by one and keep it together throughout the whole day and come home a winner.
Well, it was cloudy and overcast when the Pajero Sugarbelt 400 got underway, and after winning the time trial the previous day, Alfie Cox was the first bike competitor to be flagged away. The bikers and the car and truck competitors set out on different loops of the course, with Daryl Curtis and Jade Goodseat next up the line. They were followed by Quinton Milton, with a host of big names in the top 10 starters. Out on the course, Elmer Simons on the AGA LG Castrol KTM soon made his intentions known and quickly moved ahead of Cox, who was under more pressure from other riders on his tail. Rian van Niekerk on the AGA LG Castrol KTM running in the 250 class had moved ahead of Jade Goodseat on the Connex Internet Honda, with Goodseat's teammate Quinton Milton also in a hurry. Taking full advantage of local knowledge, Barry Creel, who hails from Estcourt, had quickly taken charge of the 200 class on a privately entered Kawasaki. Graham McLaughlin appeared to have run into a problem, and Grey Dick here took time out to inquire after his well-being. Whatever McLaughlin's problem, it didn't look too serious, and Dick went on his merry way. Up ahead, Alfie Cox was now embroiled in a head-to-head scrap with Elmer Simons on the AGA LG Castrol KTM. Running at the head of the 250 category, Simons had the advantage of a smaller capacity motorcycle, of not having to stop at every refuel point. The upshot of this was that Cox invariably found himself having to chase after Simons, who would nip into the lead while the Italian was otherwise engaged at refuel points. It was a game of nip and tuck, with Simons on the number 254 machine bringing the best out of Cox, who now has a formidable international reputation after his exploits on events like the Paris-Dakar and other marathons. Behind Simons and Cox, the fight was on for the minor placings and top 5 finishes, with Daryl Curtis, Jade Goodseat, Rian van Niekerk and Clayton Ensslin all involved in what was turning into a free-for-all, with this bunch now around 5 minutes in arrears on corrected time. The privately entered Kawasaki with Barry Creel on board was still dominating the 200 class, with Creel well ahead of William Gillett and Kevin Fisher. Whatever the problem was that hampered Graham McLaughlin in the early part of the race appeared to have been sorted out. McLaughlin had dropped down the pecking order and was trying to make up for lost ground, while Elmer Simons was out of the saddle and blasting along one of the quicker and drier sections of the Sugarbelt 400 route. Simons was tearing after Alfie Cox, who'd again moved into the lead on the road, with the bigger 380 KTM holding a slight advantage over the faster sections of the route. The checkered flag for Alfie Cox at the finish at the Eston Club. On corrected race time, Cox finished exactly a minute ahead of Elmer Simons after a tremendous battle. Simons was around 8 minutes clear of third-place Clayton Enslin and pocketed the 250 class honours for his trouble, with Barry Creel a comfortable winner in the 200 class after a great ride.
I had to stop at every refuel, and Elmer's been passing every second one. And you know, when you've just worked to take a minute out of the guy, then while you're filling up, he rides past you. You work hard again, get past him again. So I don't think it would have been a close race if I could have gone and done loops without stopping for fuel. But Elmer rode good today, and the last lap I had to pull everything I knew out, and it was a good race. I think the spectators enjoyed it. Anxious moments, and we've just had good racing, and I've enjoyed it.
That's the closest racing I've had in a long time. Well, with Alfie at least, the closest racing I've ever had. And it was really exciting for myself, and I'm sure it was for him as well. And the course was excellent. Forest a little bit slippery on that, but just an excellent ride. Really, really fun to have a good tussle with someone. It was nice.
100. All the big guns were out in